My name is Mike Migwe. This is Entertainment Thursday, but before we get to the entertainment part, because I heard the DJ say there's a new dancing move called Matopare, which is still confusing me up until now. Let's get into something a little bit different, very important. And it's matters to do with youth and governance. And this time round, it's the expectations that they have when it comes to the formation of the commission, that is the IEBC commission. The application process was closed, and now the verification process is underway. And interviews should start by mid-March. And according to the 9-member committee chair, that is Dr. Nelson Makanda, by around April 25, we should have a list of qualified candidates submitted to the president for nomination. So to get just a feel of expectations of what the youth expect, in studio I'm joined by Osapiri Evans, who is aspiring National Youth Council and also youth leader in UDA. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Unaendeleaje?
Niko salama.
And also there is Fred Mokua, who is a youth leader. Karibu sana to the program.
Asante sana.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine.
As a youth leader, actually I'm intrigued. Nini inakufanya you get into matters to do with youth leadership?
Basically, in the space of the youth, and we are majority, we form about 70% of the population. And this is where I need to grow with youth, and so that we build a great future. Yeah.
And Evans, yes. What about you? Because I also see you are a youth leader in UDA. What drives you? Ni nini na kupeanga hiyo motisha ya kufanya kukuwa involved na leadership ya youthman?
Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, you see, we have, since time immemorial, we've seen how the country has been running. And we have felt that we have never had time to give these youth opportunities.
Yes.
All the leaders whom I've been seeing since I was in primary, high school, till to the university level, they have always been talking about youth inclusion, youth inclusion. But now the challenge is they preach water and they drink wine. Okay. We are not included. So this time round, we felt it wise that we shall go for the bull by its horn.
Oh, you just read my mind. You just read my mind, because I was about to tell you, so you're taking the bull by the horns.
Yes.
Before we get into a conversation, let me just take you quickly through what is making headlines in our local dailies, and I'll start with the Daily Nation. Yes. Kwame, top judges fight for survival. The High Court has blocked the Judicial Service Commission from proceeding with petitions seeking the removal of the 7 Supreme Court judges, even as the exercise was entering a critical stage, following which the officials would have been cleared or told to face a tribunal. This comes amid an onslaught by some senior lawyers and the judiciary's tense relations with the President William Ruto's government. Who wants them out? That is a question. Who wants them out and why? Read that story on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. The Standard is capturing a headline here. This is what they have captured. Reckless duo. That is according to the Standard. The government seems to be playing down what everyone sees as a diplomatic blunder. Khartoum has said hosting the Rapid Support Force is a hostile act and should be condemned by the international community. However, a statement by Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi justifies the aligning with one side of the conflict as a process to bring stability in the country and region. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Standard newspaper. Now, onto the Star newspaper, why ODM could take over Ruto's tax burden. That is what is told on the front page of the Star. Raila team to take over leadership of key clubs. Is also here a photo of opposition chiefs weigh their options. That is what is captured on the front page of the Star newspaper. And also a story here regarding affordable housing. Housing levy not a guarantee for affordable home. That is according to CS Wahome. Contributing to the government's housing levy fund does not guarantee one a house. That is, Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome has said, throwing taxpayers off balance. That story is told on page 12 of the Star newspaper. That is what is captured in our local dailies, and I want us to get into our day's conversation. Let me start with you, Evans. Yes. We are talking about matters reconstitution of the IEBC. What are your expectations?
Yeah, first and foremost, I expect that the commission that is to be set in due course, the first thing I expect to see at least 2 youth being part of the commission. The reason I'm saying that is because you find that we are living in a digital world whereby everything is going digital. So the youth of this country, I can assure you, they are very bright. They have the knowledge, they have the experience on how the issues of this country should be run on matters digitality. I'm saying that because the other day you saw it last year, I think it's last year, when you saw the youth of this country hacking the system of the parliament of this country. So it means that they are well versed. We want to bridge, actually we want to do away with the generational gap of having the old men and the old women of this country ruling everything. They did their education long time ago, and at the moment as you're speaking, the youth that we're having at this time, they are well versed with the digital economy. So I believe that the youth should be given an opportunity so that they can help the IEBC Commission when it comes to elections to actually have proper management of the electoral systems. Because you remember we've been having candidates crying that, you know, my elections were rigged off. See, so when the youth are there, they'll be in a position to manage the malpractice issues that we have been having. Because our old mamas and babas who are always been the commissioners, I think they have no new skills to handle this. So let us give this opportunity to the youth so that they can help us do away with this generational gap. Let me give an example of Brazil. I think it is in 2021 when Brazil was having its elections. Brazil has got more than 100 million registered voters. Elections were carried out in 1 day. And after the elections were carried out, the results were projected in the same day. They were very verifiable. So you find that the youth of this country have got the knowledge on how we can handle our issues in a digital way. Let us not go the olden days.
So is it all about the digital aspect that the youth are looking for? It's a matter of skill and competence.
Good. That skill or that competence that is needed, these youths that I am talking about that are well versed with the digital era, they are able to handle these issues. I can give you an example of a very good young gentleman in this country who has been coming up with reforms. Even the BBI issue that was there the other year. There's this gentleman called Alex Matere. They are the fellas who came up with the reforms of the BBI in this country. They pushed this agenda and it became a national matter. The same Alex Matere I'm talking about, these are the fellas who came up with the idea of having students who are in the university go on an internship program and get some payment, you see. So if I'm talking about this gentleman, he is somebody, if given an opportunity to serve in the commission of the IEBC, we do believe that things will be set in the right manner.
Okay, all right. Okay, nimekusikia.
Yes.
Mokua, I want also to get a feel of your expectation. You know, expect kutoka kwa hii maneno ya IEBC to dealing with the formation of the commission.
My expectation is from the youth, most of the youths, me included, we feel like the political class, they only use us as a tool for mobilization. And once it is over, they regroup again to serve their own interests. And as you can see from the look of things, the IEBC formation is all about two stakeholder, the referees in the field, where the political party are the one taking shape and getting the, and you see even almost 6 of the 9 positions that have been advertised, I think around 6 will be taken by the political class. So as youth, what we expect from the IEBC Commission Chair, the first thing is about fairness and in terms of how the process will be carried, so that it's transparent and away from interference from political class, and it should be merit-based. And that second thing is what I should expect from the commission is in terms of most of the youth, there is a team of experts from ISPAC. They should work much on accountability of the funding that will be put in place for the IEBC processes. Over the past years, we have experienced mismanagement of the fund meant for IEBC. So there should be that accountability on how the money will be used. The third thing is about youth representation and participation in those processes in terms of, we have major role, as my friends mentioned, one of them, most of the youth are good in terms of IT and also taking in monitoring these election processes, and also in terms of communication role. Most of the youth are good in that. They can take part in that roles. And in terms of, we also need to see from the Commission about what we call awareness, public awareness to the youth in terms of the role of youth in the election, in terms of democracy, their rights, voting rights, and all the processes that are involved in the elections. You find most of the youth are not aware about this, and there should be more concentration on that.
So there should be a chance for civic education.
Yeah,
but I've seen
massive civic
it happening in social media a little bit. Do you think it's making an impact, the right impact that should be expected?
That is one of the best platforms where you can reach youth. And this is a new era where digital activism is taking shape. Yeah. So in terms of social media awareness, and my friends also say we can shift to online registration and biometric voter verification, where you see most of us youth, you find when they are doing registration, we are at school. Then once we close, when we are going to the villages to vote. So they should design a system where we do registration online. Biometric verification is also done online, so that it can ease the processes and make it accessible for all youths.
You think that is one of the changes that the youth should bring to the commission?
Yeah.
All right. Even as you add on to that, do you think now that kuna hii expectations that lazima youth wakue kwa hizi commissions, do you think they will bring about the change that you expect?
Yes. One, maybe I add on what first I begin by adding on what my brother has said. The constitution of this country, maybe on article, I think Article 10, talks of national values, right? Yeah. Article 55 is bringing us the idea of the youth rights. It is a constitutional demand that the youth should be part and parcel. We should be included in this. Let them not just be preaching water and they take wine. Because as we are talking, in 2027, majority of the voters will be this youth. So we are a major, actually we are we are a huge percentage come 2027 when we go to the ballot. So how do you feel, Mike, if we are on ballot and my team is not represented on the table, when I am carrying the majority of the votes of this country? So I think the youths being in the commission will help us reduce the issues of the hacking of the systems. It will help us reduce the issues of malpractice. Because you find that in the past, people want to go the olden ways on how to carry out elections. I have given an example of Brazil. Kenya, we are not into that. We are not so much into digital eras. Why can't we allow these youths that have experience be brought on table, given an opportunity to handle this matter? Because I believe they will help us curb so much malpractice in these elections. Aspirants have been crying, but now we have told them we have a solution for you. The solution is bringing in people with a lot of knowledge, people with skills, and also having the youth on this commission will help us boost the morale of the youth of this country, because they believe that now those who've been stealing elections, for instance, in 2027, I believe that those youths who are ready to vie for the presidency. So somebody who is a youth and wants to vie for presidency in this country, we only feel comfortable when he sees his fellow youths in the commission, because he believes that they are going to guard his vote.
Does it mean, let's say, perhaps, or for instance, we do not see a representation of the youth in the commission? Does it mean, even if the elections are credible and free and fair, you do not trust them?
Let me tell you. One, let us go back to the olden days. This is the same way these people have been handling elections. If I can give you an example, my brother Mike. In this country, I don't know, maybe you could be aware, I don't know personally, those gadgets that are used to carry out the elections in this country, who does the procurement of those gadgets? Because personally, I've never heard that we have given it to so-and-so. It only arises that company so-and-so, company X was given the orders of purchasing the election gadgets after we've had rumors that there is somebody who wants to rig this election. And it happens some months to the election. That is when people come out revealing that, you know what, company so-and-so is aligned to some senior politician in this country. Company so-and-so is somebody's cousin handling these elections. You see, so I do believe that if we have the youth on this kind of commission that is to be set up in the due course, I believe we are going to do away with these things. And when we have the youths, because as youths we speak one language, we are going to force those who are supposed to procure these gadgets to do them or to do this process in a very, very transparent manner. So transparency is all we want in this country.
Okay. Do you think inclusion of the youth will bring the transparency that Evans is talking about?
You know, when you want to bring reform, you should not be even in the kitchen. You should be out in the market doing the shopping, coming to the kitchen, prepare, and then serve. So as youth, we want to take part in the whole processes right from the beginning, so that when there is a niche or a problem somewhere, we will be able to trace where the rain starts beating us, and we can be able to correct. But if you leave it to the older or the political elite, we will not be knowing what is happening, and we will be left in the dark. Yeah.
Do you think the youth of this country speak in one voice?
Yeah, we speak in one voice. Apart from a few are playing the politics of my person or psychophancy, but a majority of the people, not even the youth, they are already tired and they want change. Yeah, it is not
change
about all
in terms of governance or in terms of politics?
Politics and governance, and how the country should be run in the coming days in the future.
What do you think, nafikiria, youth will bring that is very, very different from the way governance or the kind of governance that we have experienced over the years up to now?
It has been taking almost 2 decades since we had the liberation that was led by Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And this is the right time to bring a new revolution of new generation of leadership. And you see, these are the same people trying to shift same monkey in the different forests. So you want to join the political space. And if you can see from the 2022 election, most of the youth absconded the election because they had felt they are not taking part in the processes, and they had already given up on everything. So these choices that we made in 2022 and in the previous election is always costing us, and we feel neglected out. Now we have learned from the hardest way, and we are going to take part actively in these processes, and we'll ensure we do mass registration. And among the youth who never voted, like the 8 million who never voted, I'm very sure this time round they'll take part in the, all the electoral processes right from the voting day, and we want to go home. We'll stay in the station, we make sure the votes are counted, and the whole process is credible. Yeah.
You wanted to...
I just wanted to add on something on what my brother is saying here. In this country, the reason as to why we, the youths of this nation, are fighting so hard to be part and parcel of this commission, we've had a scenario whereby some of these top names that will be fronted soon to the president for appointment and for parliament to confirm them, some of these big names that will be fronted, I can assure you, these fellas, a number of them are aligned to top politicians of this country.
How are you sure of that?
So we are sure of that. Their names will be fronted. And that is why we are fighting that as youths, because we have nobody to front our names. We, the youths of this country, we are speaking in one voice to make sure that when that time comes, either two of them are the youths or even a majority of it, of the commission. Because we believe that malpractice will begin, malpractice starts the day the vetting process will begin.
Hold that thought, hold that thought. Let's take a breather. We'll be right back to this conversation. You're still watching Good Morning Kenya. This is Entertainment Thursday, and we are talking matters to do with the expectations of the youth with regard to the formation of the IEBC Commission. And gentlemen, there is something between 2016 and 2017 and 2022. There was voter apathy in terms of how the youth came out to vote. Some of them had registered but did not come to vote. Some of them were not registered. And actually, between that time, the IEBC was targeting to register around 6 million youth, but they only managed a paltry 12%, meaning there was a bigger number that did not come out to vote. So let me start with you. What do you think, if the youth are now included in this commission, how do you see, how should the approach be so that they can encourage more youth to register and come out to vote when the right time comes?
You know what caused the problem with low turnout of the youth in terms of registration and participation in this electoral process? Most of the youth had given hope in terms of these processes, in terms of credibility and how it will be carried. And most of the politicians, the way they were campaigning, you could see they didn't even matter about the youths. And most of the youth felt left out in the processes, which led to lack of interest in participation. But after the 2022 election, there have been so many effects that has this lack of interest in participation of this electoral process, and youth have witnessed it real in the hardest way.
Yeah.
And now through this you see from online activism, you see now the youths are now on toast, and most of us are regretting of our consequences. And in terms of the IEBC formation, now if it will be a plus for the youth if they have their own in the commission, so that when the matter concerning youth will be tabled, at least we'll be having someone to represent us in the commission. And from that, we'll be have something like a confidence that if we have a representation, means there will be some, most of our policies, participation, and our voices will be heard in the commission. And if we left this thing to be taken by the old political elites, even if we decide to vie for this position, we'll not be sure if it is credible and fair if we don't have a youth in that commission. And I'm very sure, and me being one of these youths, in 2027, I'm very sure in terms of the MPs and MCA, we'll have a large number of representation of youths, and most of the youth will turn up to vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you see? Will that change? Will that encourage more youth to register and come out to vote?
One, I think we should not even go far. Once this commission is constituted, once the president appoints this commission, we have pending by-elections, that of Ugenya, where Opiyo Wandayi was given the ministry. We have, I think there's an election that should be taking place in Malindi. There's an MCA who was stabbed to death in Kakamega County. So I think we shall use this as a litmus paper. Let it get constituted and have at least 2 youths into this commission. Then we give it a litmus paper. You see how we are going to do wonders. Those youths who registered, and even nowadays, I think even our parents have started giving us trust. They are believing in us. That now, you know, if my mother never went to school, my father never went to school, and I have managed to be at the university, I think they'll all believe that what my son or what my daughter is telling me could be right. So we shall tell our parents that, you know what, the reason as to why you see I struggled at the university, it's because of this funding model that was implemented, which never gave me an opportunity to receive the funding for me to finish this university on time. The same issue will help this when the youths are in the commission. Will give us a motivation whereby majority of the youths are going to vie for these seats. So, if we shall see a well-constituted commission of IEBC, I want to assure you, majority of the youths of this country are going to go for these topmost seats, the Senate seats, the gubernatorial seats, and even the presidency. We have seen those who've, my brother Morara Kebaso has been giving some headlines that he wants to contest for that seat. I think he will get motivated at the time he will see that the commission has got the youth who can guard our vote. Because these youths being in this system, they'll help us control the electoral system with a lot of efficiency so that the elections are credible. So I do believe that once the commission is constituted, which I believe the youths are going to be included, failure to which I think we shall be on the streets, I can assure you. Another big issue, this country, when we have something called the National Youth Council of in this country. The last elections were held in 2012. So matters concerning the youth have always been neglected because there is no reforms, actually there is no system for the youth of this country to run their affairs. So I do believe, Mike, that if we are given an opportunity, and the president spoke in Mombasa last year saying that we need the National Youth Council to be constituted. I want to assure you, Chapter 4 of this Constitution has highlighted, actually under 2009 amendments in the Constitution, it talked about the reforms of the National Youth Council. Up to date, those who are heading the National Youth Council are just but interim, you see. So, and most of them are moribund of government employees. My sister Gloria, who is the CEO of the National Youth Council, we have seen abductions in this country, youths being killed, extrajudicial killings you saw, but she could not wake up or she could not stand firm and speak about the matter. Reason being, she is a government moribund, she is employed by this very government, so there is no way she can criticize this government.
I think we should not mention names because she is not here to to at least offer a rebuttal to that, because we should refrain from that. But even as such, there's something that is intriguing me.
Yes.
We talk of representation and youth engagement, but should these spaces be given to the youth just because you are a youth?
No, I think we began by saying that it should be given on competency based. And I mentioned a case study of a youth who has been bringing proper reforms in this country, implementing policies that can help this country run in the right direction. So if the youth are given a platform, I think they will do the best for this nation. Yes.
And in terms of, you know, civic education and the youth have been very vocal in matters to do with the participation in governance. Tell me, how do we ensure that those voices make the right impact? Freddie?
The only way we can make our voices be heard, as I mentioned earlier, is when we are on the kitchen.
Making the food?
Making the food ourselves.
So that is not brought on the
so that we are not served, we are only served, we might be served even the leftovers. So we must take part from all the processes, right from the, you know, for the process is the production of the quality of that vote. So if you don't take part in all the processes where the vote is being processed to the final day where it is casted and counted, you will not know where it was altered in the process. So youth must take part in that process.
And what do you think of youth forming political parties? Because we are talking about being involved in those processes, and the political parties also play a big role in ensuring that these governance processes are in place. What do you think of youth forming their own political party or joining the existing ones?
The problem I see with these political parties is where we see most of the youth are given not even like the position my friend wants to vie. It's just a PR position. It has no influence in the party. So we need to take part in the, the parties should prioritize youth. And even when they are fronting this name to the commission, just the way the constitution said that there should be that equal representation and it should be in line with the merit based. So youth should be represented and they should take part in the process.
Evans, do you think the youth will turn their numbers into a dividend?
Yeah, the youth of this country are well enlightened, and I think the challenges they have faced since 2022 to date, actually that kind of challenge is going to push most of them to come out in large numbers to register as voters, and not just to register and vote for some old babas and mamas in the villages, are going to come out to register as voters, and the majority of them, or a good number of them, are also going to contest for these political seats. You talked of the political parties. I have seen my brother Morara Kebaso. He has a good party by the name Inject, Party of Kenya. So I think if the IEBC is constituted and has got a representation of the youth, why do you think the youths will not join him? They will give him a backup. So I believe more political parties will be, more political parties are in the offing, just waiting to see this IEBC being constituted. Then from there you will see how youths are going to do wonders in this country.
Yes.
Maybe what I can add from what he has already mentioned, and I can also advise him from the party position, as we know the IEBC Commission, the main key player are these big two parties. And they'll take part in that processes. So what he should be pushing from the party perspective, he should be ensuring that the name of the youth are forwarded to that commission. Because I know among those 1,800 applicants have done, there are a number of people have been fronted from the parties to take part in that. He should be pushing from that. And even from the ISPAC position, in terms of accountability, in terms of finance, in terms of the religious, we have those youth in the religious space, we have those youth in what is constituted in their IEBC. So from those key stakeholders, they should front even the youth in those processes. Yeah.
Do you think the electoral body has been getting it wrong for, say, not including the youths within the commission? Is it the reason why they maybe have been getting it wrong?
Yeah, it is. That's one of the reasons, because most of voters in this country, or registered voters, are youths. At this time, are the youths. So if we shall fail out if we cannot give them a platform to exercise their democratic rights. You see, Because if they are part and parcel of the commission, they will feel represented. They will give the country a transparency manner of doing things. The expertise that these people have, these youths have, will be used in managing the electoral systems in this country. And I can assure you that if this country will try to go that direction and we push for a digital era, I want to assure you elections in this country will always be conducted in a transparent manner. So we are encouraging that. My brother mentioned about the issue of political parties pushing their people. I think I began by saying very well that most of the names that are going to be pushed for appointment into the constitution, I can assure you, are being pushed by the bigwigs of these political parties. That's what I'm saying. If we know very well that the names which are going to be fronted are from the political party bigwigs, we ourselves, as the youth of this country, are now pushing. We are also the third bigwig in this country. We are a majority, and we should be given time to practice and participate in constituting this IEBC. That's why we are saying that we need representation of the youth. Young people must be on this table for us to be counted. If we are not on this table, then it means we have failed from the word go. That's what we are saying. Once it is constituted, I want to assure you, if the youth of this country are not going to be part and parcel of this constitution, this commission, we are going to wake up and we shall call out these leaders. Because I want to tell you, Mike, most of the reforms that are brought in this country, the failures of reforms in this country are led by the members of parliament, whereby this arm of government is not playing its role. The reason I'm saying is that this is because most of the MPs just think that their roles is actually a matter of nitajenga barabara, nimeleta basari. That is where most of these MPs are actually headed to. And that's why you see the Mizani Africa, the Infotrack, when they are doing their research, you find that they base so much on development. Failing to understand that main reforms in this country is that these members of parliament have got the mandate of coming up with the amendments in the constitution, in the National Assembly, and have reforms that are going to help this country forge ahead. So we are saying this, and we want to encourage that the members of parliament should know that they have got more roles to play in that house, not just a matter of bursary and a matter of barabara nitajenga. Let these leaders come on board and know that they have key roles. That's why you see a member of parliament will be ranked top 1, top 10, top 5, that is performing well. When this very member of parliament does not appear in the National Assembly, the guy is always on trips, doing businesses in Dubai, you see, that's what they do. But if we are going to have leaders handle this, have an inclusion of activities in the National Assembly, you do the bursary issue, you do the road issue, and also do the amendment issues in the constitution, I think we shall have the right direction of leadership. These MPs have let the country down because they are pushing for reforms that do not favor the people who elected them. They are pushing reforms to impress a certain leader.
All right. Now, there's something I want to ask both of you about elections. Do you think it's the elections that bring change, or it's the robust participation of the youth now in these elections as both voters and aspirants?
From that, I can say it is the electoral process.
The whole electoral process.
Right from the commission to the last day where the votes are being announced. And this issue is all about trust. There is no trust in the commission and the whole process. But if we have someone who can be giving us feedback from this side, we can also develop that trust. And also it can be a win for us because if you see even this reconstitution of IEBC, the delay is majorly affecting the youth in terms of the by-elections that are supposed to be conducted. Those positions have eagerly been waiting for the youth to vie in those positions. And we have my fellow comrade who have been waiting for the bursary. They have been affected for almost 2 years without getting the bursary. If you have a youth in the commission also, we have another process that has been delayed for that was supposed to be conducted in 2022, the boundary reviews. And most of the people who take part in that, the boundary review are the youth. And if you ask someone who will be represent us in the commission and the whole electoral process, it means youth will have that morale to take part in the process of boundary reform.
Yeah.
And the last thing is about the coming reforms that IEBC is supposed to do before and preparation for 2027 election, which need to be taken into consideration, and where that is where most of the youth are eyeing on how the IEBC will do it, preparation for the 22, and the reform that will make so that they can the youth can feel represented in the whole process.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about your sentiments on this? Is it that elections bring change, or just it's robust participation of people, the youth now, in the entire process, both as voters and aspirants?
Elections bring change only if we have the right people in the tunnel, whereby if, the major problem we are having in this country on matters of elections is that the leaders who come to contest for these positions, some of them have no real issues affecting Mwananchi. You find that some of them sell to us some hogwash manifestos, that when an enlightened person like you go sit down and look at somebody's manifestos, you may get to know even before the elections are undertaken that this person will not deliver. Because we should be working, I think we are going to advise our youth that from today henceforth, let somebody sell his manifesto, let us look at the manifesto, and apart from looking at this manifesto, let us go into the real situation whereby the budgetary allocation of this country, does this budget favor such kind of manifesto that this person is fronting to us? Because that is how these politicians have been actually getting away our minds. So somebody promises heaven and he does not deliver. If given an opportunity, he reaches in office, the budgetary allocation of this country does not give him room to allocate the funds to implement what he promised to the people. And that is where failure has actually come from. Another thing, the constitution of this commission, from the word go, if the constitution of the IEBC commission does not have the youth representation, that is where we shall have started failing from. So I believe that for the youth of this country to participate, let us have a representation in the constitution. You can only get in a match where you are 11-11 in a football pitch, but you cannot be having, you are the referee, at the same time you are a player. Let the referee remain being a referee and let the players be in the field. Let them tackle each other until at the end of the game, then we see the winner.
All right. Before nijue kama unajua inaitwa aje, nimesikia DJ akiita aje matopari, then kuna anguka nayo. I want you to give your closing remarks on this, because we are done with that. Because I want us to do a little exercise as DJ comes to, lazima atupe muziki. DJ ukuje utupe muziki. Your closing remarks.
My closing remark to all youths, I'm calling them to take this leadership position, do active participation in all the electoral processes, be vigilant in all the processes, and ensure that once the process is good, credible, and accountable, they take this leadership role, take all the spaces, and as we say, occupy. They should occupy everywhere, even in the political leadership.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, what I want to say, one, if we are to better the future, we must fight the present.
Yes.
So I want to encourage the young leaders, I want to encourage the youth of this country, that let us unite, come together. Let us leave out the tribal issues. Let us just be one person, one youth. And we are talking, at the moment we are talking about youth for youth, comrade for comrade. It's not for us until we are on to that very table.
All right, all right. That is Osapiri Evans, who is an aspiring national youth leader, and also Evans Pokua, who is a youth leader. Now, tukiwa tumekaa, tunaanguka nayo.